Hello everyone, I welcome you all in this revision series. So without talking about anything else, straight jump to the questions. I hope you enjoyed the last kind of a demo video for set 2 core of the archaeology, and in this spree let's begin the thing. Okay, so here we have the set 1. In this set, we are going to do 22 previous year questions based on source of history, inscriptions and coins. I divided all the questions in this manner. Okay. Eventually, your set 2, the core of the archaeology, archaeology in itself is also considered as a source of history. So kindly consider this set also is in the continuity with the last one. Okay. Anyway, let's begin. First question, the Dharma and Rita. This is kind of very unconventional and offbeat, such theme not repeated these days. But anyway, we will see this. The Dharma and Rita depict a central idea of ancient Vedic civilization of India. In this context, consider the following statements. Dharma was a conception of obligations and the discharge of one's duties to oneself and to others. Yes, correct. Rita was the fundamental moral law governing the functioning of the universe and all it contained. Yes. I mentioned in the notes like what's dharma and all. So dharma refers to the proper ideal conduct of a person living in a society, a course of action which leads to the fulfillment of the goals of human life. The goals known as your Purusharth, the 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. The concept of Dharma is closely tied up with the idea of Sansara, the cycle of birth, not that much relevant for the exam, okay. Next question. It's about the issue of ownership according to Smriti literature. Now, these are very rare questions. If we see, of course, they are also unconventional. They do come from the book directly, but personally, in my opinion, I don't suggest these kind of things should be asked in the exam. But anyway, we will see. So it's about the issue of ownership according to Smriti literature. Not correct. First one is quite easy. The personal estate was to be divided equally amongst the sons. Yes. Women were allowed. Now these 3 statements are composite and you should remember this at least because they asked you about them. Women were allowed to retain the gifts they received on the occasion of their marriage. Yes. The gifts to women on the occasion of their marriage were known as the Stridhana. This term is important. I covered it in your notes also. Stridhan was not inherited by the children without the permission of the husband. No. Stridhan means women wealth and it is passed on from mother to the daughter. So of course there is a clause of inheritance. Fine. And what I mentioned in the notes is this. The law books reflect an increase in the scope of Stridhana. What Stridhana is, I mentioned it here from the glossary section of Upinder Singh. I urge you to revise the glossary part also, okay, which is freely available on the Telegram channel and also it is attached in your notes too, okay, the timeline in the glossary. Keep repeating 10 minutes daily in the morning or in the night, whatever suits you, okay, because that's important. So do that. By the way, we will also cover the timeline and the glossary part also as a thematic set. So some types of Stridhana, not so relevant, but I mentioned just these 2 things here. But in the book we have many terms like this. So what is Anvadhya? Anvadhya is a subsequent gift, that which is obtained after marriage from members or her husband's family and from the family of her father's kinsmen. What is Saudaika? Sauda, it's a term in Hindi, kind of a deal, that which is obtained by a married woman in her husband's or father's house or an unmarried girl from her parents or brothers. Okay, so there can be a simple question, like that we will see tomorrow or day after tomorrow maybe, that Kulyavapa and Dronvapa thing. Okay, so they can ask you about what is Anvadya and Sadaika. These are the terms related with Stridhana. They ask you in CDS about Stridhana. Okay, next question, very factual, simple. The legend of Prahlad and his father Hiranyakashipu was first set out in the Vishnu Purana. Okay, Purana I mentioned in your notes, but not so important for prelims point of view. But they are asking such kind of questions in these years. So this is the thing to ponder about. Next is quite simple. These two questions we will see cumulatively. There are two things mentioned in the Upanishads, Satyamev Jayate as well as Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So the Satyamev Jayate is taken from your Mundaka Upanishad, and second, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it was kind of a current affair question also. It was the theme of G20 presidency last year. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or one earth, one family, one future. It's drawn from, you're taken from Maha-Upanishad. Okay. Next question, the languages. Chapter 1 of the notes also deal about the development of languages, Prakrit, Sanskrit, or the Apabhransha, or different kind of literatures. We will see literature in the work most probably day after tomorrow in a dedicated thematic set. The majority of the questions, what majority, I will say the maximum number of questions is on that theme only, the authors and their works. Anyway, this question is talking about the dynasties of South India who issued their documents for the first in Prakrit and then later in Sanskrit. So that's a very plain factual thing. They were the Pallavas of Tondai Mandalam. Next question. Now these 5 questions. It's amazing to see all these 5 questions, because see, ultimately this is the core idea behind revising the previous year questions in this manner. How beautiful it is when you see, okay, all these 5 questions, let me put it, okay, on a single screen all at once. James Princip in Brahmi script. Simple. Who of the following had deciphered the edicts of Emperor Ashoka? James Princip. James Princip is given credit for deciphering the script used in Ashokan Brahmi. Who among the following was the first to decipher the Ashokan inscriptions? James Princip. Which one of the following script of ancient India was written from right to left? That's your Kharoshti. You may get confused. Brahmi is written from left to right. It's mentioned in your notes also. I think where it is. Yes. This I marked it here. Brahmi is written from left to right. Kharoshti right to left. The next question. I mentioned all these things many times. You all are very much aware of these things. So you can revise the same thing again and again. Anyway, let's do it here once more. The oldest script of Indian subcontinent, Harappan script. The oldest deciphered one is Brahmi script. James Princip done after using the Bairast inscription. Princip also deciphered the Kharoshti script. He also the founder editor of the Journal of Asiatic Society of Bengal. Ashokan Brahmi script deciphered by the efforts of Charles Wilkins, Captain A. Troyer. You may get the names because, as we discussed in your set 2 core of the archaeology, they asked you the 5 names. Who were these people? They were associated with the archaeological excavations. So you can get a question like this. Charles Wilkins, Captain Troyer, W.H. Mill, J. Stevenson and James Princip. All of them, they tried to read early medieval Brahmi inscriptions and then worked at deciphering the older Brahmi letters. The final step in decipherment of the 3rd century BC Mauryan Brahmi was done by the James Princip in 1837. But do you know, I emphasize this fact so much, there can be a question on it. that do you know that the Princip had no idea about Piyadasi mentioned therein. James Princip read that okay, something what is written in the inscription is Piyadasi, but who is Piyadasi after all? So who found this out? So it was the George Turner. He identified the king as Ashoka. So this credit goes to George Turner. Remember this name. Yeah. On the basis of references in Deepavansha. And let me tell you, Turner also translated the Deepavansha also. Another stylized, ornate form of the Brahmi script referred to by scholars as Shankhlipi. There is a script similar to Brahmi on terracotta seals at sites such as Chandraketugad and Tamluk in the eastern India. Okay, Brahmi is written from, this I already covered. And keep this in mind that Ashoka's Shahbazgadi and Mansira inscriptions are in the Kharoshthi script. Shahbazgadi is in Afghanistan. So this was your question. Ashokan inscriptions in Afghanistan are written in which one of the following scripts? Kharoshthi in Afghanistan. The northwestern part, they all are in Kharoshthi script. Next question on inscriptions. We are doing inscriptions in totality. The earliest inscriptions are in Sanskrit. No, we have read that. This thing, if you can see, the oldest deciphered script is the Brahmi script, and it is also mentioned that the oldest deciphered inscriptions belong to the late 4th century BC, and they are in Brahmi and Kharoshthi, not in the Sanskrit. Kharoshthi script used in inscriptions in the northwest was deciphered with the help of coins of Indo-Greek kings who ruled over the area. Yes, most of the inscriptions mention grand unique events, and routine agricultural practices do not find mention. You may find it wrong, but that's correct, and this is straight from your NCERT of the 12th themes of the Indian history. You can read, agricultural practices find no mention in inscriptions, focus more often than not on grand unique events. And this statement number 2, is taken from Rupinder Singh. The decipherment of Kharoshthi was easier because of the availability of bioscript coins in Greek and Kharoshthi issued by the Indo-Greek kings. Okay, so mix just your NCERT and this book. They are mingling the, the things from these two textbooks. Okay, one is the textbook, another one is the reference book, and they are putting up a question. So this is also an idea. You cannot find a complete question in NCERT or in Rupinder Singh, but a mix of both. The next thing, question number 13. Which one of the following political centers finds a mention in Ashokan inscription Suvarnagiri? Mention in your notes, of course, from the Rupinder Singh. Maurya Empire was divided into provinces under governors. There seem to have been at least 4 provinces, a southern one with its center at the Suvarnagiri, a northern one, Takshila, western one headquarters at Ujjaini, and the eastern one at Tosali. Next question, name of the location of the musical inscriptions, a very intriguing question. Name of the location of the musical inscription containing groups of musical notes arranged for the benefit of his pupils by a king in the 7th or 8th century AD. That's your Kudumiya Malai. Uttar Merur is mentioned in your NCERT, but that don't deal with your musical notes and everything. Okay. Straight from Rupinder Singh, the 7th century Kudumiya Malai inscription gives the musical notes used in several classical ragas. One thing is also important here. As I told you, see the left, right, up, down of this space. And this space is giving us a beautiful hint in the form of this line. The pillars of the eastern and western gateways of the Nataraja temple at Chidambaram have label inscriptions describing the dance poses of 108 sculpted figures carved on them, quoting verses from the Natya Shastra of Bharat Muni. Don't wonder if you get a question on the basis of this line. Okay. Moving to next question. Which one of the following inscriptions record the history of a guild of silk weavers? The answer is Mandsaur inscription. And they have picked this question straight from the Upinder Singh. In Upinder Singh, every chapter begins with the introductory paragraph, okay, written in the blue color. I bring it out for you. A little over 1500 years ago, a guild of silk weavers of Lata, it's a place in Gujarat, set out on a long journey along with their families. It's not clear what compelled them to move from their homes, but they ultimately reached and settled down in a town called Dashpura in central India. During the reign of Emperor Kumargupta I, let me highlight this. During the reign of Emperor Kumargupta I, at a time when Bandhu Varman governed the town, the guild financed the building of a temple dedicated to the sun god Surya. It was a magnificent temple with broad and lofty spires, and its consecration ceremonies were performed in the winter of 438 CE. As the years passed, a part of the temple was damaged, possibly by lighting. The guild decided to intervene and finance repairs and renovation. The work began in the spring of 473 around. All these details are given in an inscription discovered at Mandsaur, which corresponds to the Dashpura of the inscription. The text of the inscription was composed by Vatsabhatti, a devotee of Surya. I won't tell you again and again that, okay, just this thing can give you a question or that thing. You are smart enough to decide that. He was also the very person whom the guild had entrusted with building and repairing the temple. So this was the thing on Mandsaur inscription. Allahabad pillar inscription, so much favorite of UPSC. We will see many questions in the upcoming sets. Next, very factual, very offbeat, extremely, quantitative kind of question. Even I googled its answer because I have no idea about this. The famous Hathi Gumfa inscription of Kharvela mentioned that in the 11th year of his reign, Kharvela destroyed a confederacy of Tamil estates, Tamir Desha Sangatham, which had long been a source of danger. How old was this confederacy of Tamil estates at that time? 113-year-old. What you can get from this MCQ only? They can give you Tamir Desha Sangatham. What is it? It's a confederacy of Tamil estates. I guess 3 Tamil kingdoms. I think Pandyas, Cheras. Sorry, I'm not sure. I'll update it in the comment section later, or will tell you on the groups. But I will do that. Right now, I'm not sure about it. Next thing. Which one of the following statement is correct? Of course, the first one. Brahmi used for writing many Ashokan inscriptions shows local variations. Yes, there are variations. Straight from your Upinder Singh. Now read these 2 lines. The cuneiform script of Mesopotamia, which is your ancient Iraq, was invented in 3400 BCE. The system of cuneiform writing developed around 3rd millennium BCE in Egypt. No, actually they reversed it. And Egyptian hieroglyphics in 3100 BCE. They reversed these 2 lines. The system of hieroglyphic writing was developed in ancient Mesopotamia. No, that's in Egypt, and that's in your Mesopotamia or Iraq. An ancient script Kharoshthi was widely used in the southern part of India. Not at all. I told you previously, it's northwestern part of India. Next thing. Just look at this. Very quantitative kind of question. So factual. They have given you 6 inscription and this appeared in your CAPF 2023. Okay, how many pairs are correctly matched? Prayag Prashasti, extremely simple, Harisena, 4th century AD. Chinese traveler Fayan's account, 6th century. No. If you see your notes, Fayan travels extended from 399 to 414, which is approximately around 5th century AD. Okay. So it is not 6th century BC. No. Huinsang came in 629 AD and spent over 10 years. Everything is mentioned. White Singh, 7th century Chinese traveler. Mudra Rakshas of Vishakadatta, yes, 5th century. Harshcharita of Banabhatta, no, that's approximately 7th century. Ahol Prashasti of Ravi Kirti, yes, 7th century. And Kavi Rajmarg of Amog Varsha, yes, that is your, that's also not correct, that's 9th or mid of the 9th century AD. Because Amog Varsha was ruling somewhere around 850s. Okay, so that's your 9th century AD. We are in 2023, it is the 21st century. So if you get confused, just remember this, that this is 2024, but we call it 21st century, not the 20th century. 20th century was from 1900 to year 2000. Okay, just a succeeding number. Okay, when we will move in 2100 to 2200, that will be the 22nd century. Okay, likewise you do this thing, 8 something, so 9th century AD. I hope you get it. Now all the questions based on the coinage, your numismatics. You know this thing, that study of inscriptions is known as this is the basic epigraphy, and coins study is known as numismatics. Okay, so both are the sources of history. Now first question, same to same question repeated in 2021 in combined Geo-Scientist, then in NDA in 2024. The first coins to bear the name and images of rulers were issued by the Indo-Greeks. Plain, simple, even your notes also tell you this, and then NCERT too. First coins in Indian history bearing the names and images of rulers, again Indo-Greeks. Which one of the following statements with reference to the ancient Indian coins is not correct? Now this is a good question. The Indo-Greeks issued the first coins bearing the names and images of the rulers. Repetitive question, combined Geo-Scientist, NDA and in CAPF. No wonder you can get it in your CSE also. Absolutely correct. The Kushanas issued the first gold coins. Yes, the Kushanas were the first dynasty of the subcontinent to mint large quantities of gold coins. Their silver coins are rare. The Kushanas' gold coins were different in weight from the coins issued by the contemporary Roman emperors. No, it is wrong. They were similar or equal to the weight from the Roman coins issued by the contemporary Roman emperors in their kingdoms. These Kushana gold coins have been found from several sites in North India and Central Asia. Yes, this is correct. And your last question. Which one of the following statements about coin struck during 200 BC to 300 AD in the Indian subcontinent is not correct? The incorrect statement is absence of Negama coins suggests the declining power and authority of merchant guilds. No. Some coins with the word Negama seem to represent coins issued by the merchant guilds. Certain Takshila coins with the legend Panch Nekama may have been issued jointly by the 5 guilds. Okay, so there were no decline in the coins issued by the the trade guilds and the likewise entities, but there were the increase, as you can see, and the rest of the three options, they are as a correct statement. Consider them as correct statements. The Indo-Greeks introduced bilingual and biscript legends on their coins. We have seen this in the previous explanation. Yeah, here the decipherment of Kharoshthi was easier because of the availability of biscript coins in Greek and Kharoshthi issued by the Indo-Greek kings. Okay, so this is a straight statement. And the Kushanas minted large quantities of gold coins as well as copper coins of low denomination. It's here. Okay, the same thing. The Satavahanas issued coins of silver, copper, lead and potin. Yes, they did it. I forget to include it here, but yes, Satavahanas issued, just remember the statement, Satavahanas issued coins of lead and potin, silver, copper too. Fine, with this I end this set number 1, the sources of history, inscriptions and the coins. See you in the next set, set number 3. Set 2 is already covered, you can see it, which is core of the archaeology, 7 previous year questions, all based on the archaeology. Now the third set is coming up. Thank you.